that we were talking about earlier today.
Caitlin Clark, by the way, absolutely silenced everybody yesterday. The woke media was all on her. I hate to even mention this complete jackass, Jamel Hill, and others were all in her business. It's white privilege. She hits these threes. Man, I don't give a damn if it's white, black, or green privilege. Jamel Hill, she blames the media for covering Caitlin Clark. She's tremendous on television. What a missed opportunity for the national media to really evaluate who she was as a person. Why? Whereas it feels like our black athletes get the same amount of coverage, whereas for black athletes to get the same amount of coverage or even fair coverage, there has to be something extra beyond basketball. No. You choose to do that. You don't need anything else.
What if I told you the WNBA discourse lately feels less like a basketball season and more like a daytime soap scripted by social media? Suddenly, JC Sheldon is trending. People online are tossing around serious accusations like they're no-look passes, and Caitlin Clark somehow ends up cast as the villain in a plot involving slow-motion clips, dramatic side eyes, and Rhyne Howard stepping into the frame like it's a reunion special. Is this still hoops? Or did we accidentally tune into a reality TV crossover episode? Buckle up, because this storyline has more twists than an overtime crossover, and the internet is treating every possession like a plot reveal.
Jamel Hill. The fact that she believes that Caitlin Clark is receiving more coverage than a lot of the other black players. I don't like that Jamel Hill said this. I feel like she's always looking for an excuse to race bait. That's her whole identity, and I just don't like this. Caitlin Clark is phenomenal. She is just that good. She's setting all types of records, scoring, assists. I mean, she is incredible. So she deserves the amount of...
Just when it seemed like Clark's rookie year had already supplied enough headlines to last 3 off seasons, the spotlight swings again. This time toward a heated moment involving Indiana's centerpiece and Atlanta's Rhyne Howard. Social media reacted as if it were a cinematic showdown instead of a competitive sequence in a professional game. Apparently, no one just plays basketball online anymore. Every bump is a betrayal, every stare is a subplot, and every replay is analyzed like a conspiracy documentary in 4K.
Well, guess what? One of the master race baiters from the world of sports, if you still want to say she's involved in the world of sports, is back at it again. I'm talking about Jamel Hill, who is one of the integral reasons why Around the Horn no longer exists on ESPN.
The latest episode of Let's Analyze Every Frame aired live from a hardwood court somewhere in America, and the internet, ever calm, balanced, and measured, responded with total composure. Just kidding. Timelines erupted. Clips were slowed down, zoomed in, color-corrected, and reposted with dramatic captions. Fans picked sides within minutes. Comment sections turned into debate stages. What might have been written off as competitive intensity instead became a full-blown trending topic before the final buzzer even sounded.
Person that's been definitely weighing in on this Caitlin Clark drama has been Jamel Hill. This is season 2 of Caitlin Clark and the Fever, and now we have a new Jamel Hill rant. She is one person that's been pretty vocal about everything. The Angel Reese situation, now this Rhyne Howard thing, which I thought was not a big deal whatsoever. Reported on it yesterday. She did kind of get into Caitlin Clark's head, kind of psyched her out. I believe that's why Caitlin Clark played so bad. But some new footage has emerged of the...
So, what actually happened? A sideline sequence escalated into a physical, high-pressure defensive moment. Rhyne Howard stepped up aggressively, pressing Clark tightly as the play developed. Words may have been exchanged, depending on which lip-reading expert you trust on social media, and a line that sounded like, "I'm not scared of you," began circulating across platforms within seconds. Whether captured clearly on audio or interpreted through viral replay, it fueled the fire instantly. And just like that, another ordinary piece of in-game competitiveness transformed into the latest chapter of the WNBA's never-ending online drama cycle, where every stare becomes symbolism and every clip becomes a storyline.
Caitlin Clark taking it back, and you can see the hold there. Then Rhyne Howard doesn't like that. And there's some words between the two players as Naz Hillman quickly comes over and gets her bestie out of the scuffle.
That sideline line, whether clearly heard or wildly lip-read into existence, instantly became the WNBA equivalent of an old-school dual invitation. Pistols at dawn, but make it hardwood. And before the clip even finished buffering, Jemele Hill entered the conversation with the confidence of someone used to navigating sports culture debates. Her message?
Calm down.
This is competition, physical play, intensity, rivalry, the kind of edge that exists in every pro league when a high-profile star steps on the floor. In her view, what people were calling hostility was simply the temperature rising in meaningful games.
Be talking about something that was an interesting one. It was a really, really interesting one, and it was the kind of interactions between Rhyne Howard and Caitlin Clark. And if we're going to be honest, Rhyne Howard 100% got the better. Rhyne Howard, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, got the better of Caitlin Clark today on both ends of the floor. But these were some hilarious responses. So Caitlin Clark and Rhyne Howard get into it here. So Rhyne Howard he was fouling Caitlin Clark the whole game, and is going into Caitlin Clark coming back to Rhyne Howard. I'm not scared.
From that perspective, Clark isn't being targeted. She's being tested. Every breakout, star gets that treatment. Superstars draw tighter defense, harder screens, louder crowds. That's the traditional sports argument, but then the conversation shifted again. Hill suggested that some of the outrage around Clark might carry deeper undertones, that the protectiveness, the framing of her as uniquely mistreated, could intersect with race in ways people don't want to unpack. That suggestion lit another fuse. Supporters applauded her for broadening the lens. Critics argued that fans were reacting to visible physical play and high-profile fouls, not racial narratives, and just like that, what started as a basketball clip turned into a culture debate. Some viewers felt Clark was absorbing disproportionate contact. Others felt the response to it was disproportionate. The discussion stopped being about one possession and became about perception itself.
Talk about this, the post from Brittany Griner, and one thing I don't understand is that, like, there is some kind of flimsy evidence, I guess. Like, we're not lip readers. We're not lip readers. She probably says trash. Like, it sounds like she has said. It looks like what it apparently says is effing.
Step back for a second and look at how surreal this cycle has become. Clark can drop 30 points, stretch the floor to the logo, and still find herself trending for a shoulder bump instead of a stat line. That's what happens when visibility explodes. Every moment gets magnified. Defensively, teams are absolutely scheming for her. That's not controversy, that's scouting. High-volume shooters get trapped, pressed, bumped off their spots, forced into uncomfortable angles. Coaches game plan for the engine of an offense. If you disrupt the primary scorer, you disrupt rhythm. That's basketball strategy at every level. Now, are some sequences overly physical? That's what officials are there to judge. But intense coverage of a headline player isn't new. It's what happens when you become the focal point of scouting reports. The line between tough defense and too much depends heavily on which side of the rivalry you're standing on.
That should be celebrated, and it's because of Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it Caitlin Clark. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. What's your opinion if they want your opinion, man, early on, because everybody is looking for you to say anything, and they're going to splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. And I think for her, the one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chart.
The media response hasn't helped calm things. One outlet frames it as gritty competitiveness. Another frames it as a pattern. Social media amplifies the most dramatic angles. Highlight loops rarely show the full possession context, just the contact moment. That fuels perception. Take the Kennedy Carter incident earlier in the season. It became a viral flashpoint, replayed endlessly, debated from every angle. Some saw unnecessary aggression. Others saw an emotional moment in a heated rivalry. Either way, the clip lived longer online than it did on the scoreboard. The Rhyne Howard sequence followed a similar path. Physical defense, words exchanged, clip posted, reactions polarized. Then commentary personalities weigh in, and the discourse snowballs again. Clark becomes either a symbol of resilience or a symbol of overprotection, depending on who's talking. But here's the reality. Stars draw contact. Stars draw attention. And stars draw debate. That combination guarantees volatility in the social media era.
It was a rough night for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Last night, she only scored 3 points in a blowout loss to the New York Liberty. But it was a game on Saturday between the Fever and the Chicago Sky that had a lot of people talking. Fans were so hyped for Caitlin, Angel Reese, and Camila Cardoso to all be back on the same court. However, the moment that made headlines is right here, the hard foul involving Clark.
As for league leadership, silence during viral storms often gets interpreted as indifference. In reality, leagues typically review plays internally, evaluate officiating, and issue fines or statements when warranted, not through trending hashtags, but through formal channels. Public calm can look like absence, especially when timelines are on fire. The idea that Clark's popularity makes her fair game is a dangerous oversimplification. Visibility shouldn't equal vulnerability. At the same time, being the face of a league means absorbing heightened scrutiny from opponents, fans, and commentators alike. Clark didn't appoint herself as the centerpiece of a ratings surge. The momentum built around performance, marketability, and timing. With that spotlight comes pressure. With pressure comes friction. And with friction, in 2026, comes 1,000 instant opinions. What we're watching isn't a gladiator arena or a scripted reality show. It's a league navigating explosive growth in real time. The temperature feels higher because the audience is bigger. The clips feel sharper because the stakes feel larger. The question moving forward isn't whether drama will disappear, it won't. The question is whether the focus returns to the basketball itself. Because beneath the viral edits and commentary crossfire, there are still games being played, strategies being drawn up, and careers being built.